Okay, so now as you will be aware, in metaphor or metaphorical representation, the person is always associated into the metaphor. This is because of the geocentricity of metaphor and the fact that it's infinite in all directions. So the person is never dissociated. They are always the observer, they are never what they observe. Yet people will report, I see myself. They will do this in things like memory. You can dissociate from a memory. So I can have a memory that's out there in three-dimensional space. It's contained, so it's got submodality distinctions that contain it and define it, and I can see myself doing those things. It can even be that I don't even see myself. I see it from a dissociated position, but I'm not seeing myself in it. I'm just seeing the events as though through my own eyes, but through my own eyes, through my own eyes, so therefore I don't see myself. It's weird like that. Now those things are possible with things like memory and other forms of representation, but it's not possible with metaphor. The principle here is you are never dissociated in metaphor. When it comes to metaphor, you are the observer. You're never what you observe. And I'm sorry to labour the point, but I need to go through this to make sure people get it. Because I get all sorts of things come back, yes, but what about memory? Okay, we've just done that one. Now, if I see myself in a metaphor, now this tells us some very interesting information. For example, a gentleman comes to see me. He looked awful. He wasn't very well at all mentally. And he said, I haven't got a life. My life's over. I'm dead. Now, whilst he didn't look well, none of those three statements were true. He was alive, he did have a life, he wasn't dead. When I said to him, okay, how do you know that you're dead? How do you know you haven't got a life? How do you know your life is over? He said, because I see myself in a coffin, dead. If I see myself in a coffin, that's not myself, because I'm here looking at it. So this is his metaphor. I point out to him that he's not dead in the coffin. He is the observer of this, he's not what he observes. And this created a dramatic shift in his perception. Because what he's doing is he's overtly and overly identifying with this corpse. It has some characteristics and qualities that he thinks of himself with, but it's not him. So as long as he's got the narrative, the story that says, I'm dead, I don't have a life, my life's over, he's not going to live. But now what we can do is I can go, okay, so you're the observer, you're not what you observe. What are you standing on? And he says, well, I'm standing on the concrete of the mausoleum, whatever it was. And I can say, okay, what's to your left? What's to your right? What's in front? Okay, we know it's the coffin. What's behind? Now we're building up his reality for where he actually stands, as opposed to building up the reality from the story that he's learned to tell. Now this gentleman had been in therapy for a long time, in group work, doing group therapy, talking about his self-image. The self-image is a fiction, it's a narrative, it's a story, it's a metaphor. But it's not true. It's a very untrue characteristic of a metaphor. Because all the time he's in therapy talking about this, he's the one talking about it, he's not living. This thing that's buried in a coffin is dead, metaphorically speaking. The question here is, why is he standing there looking forward to that, looking forward? What we know is there's a degree of aspiration, and this is a degree of what's in his future. It's what he looks forward to. We could even say what he wants is dead, or what he wants is death, because forwards is about want. But that may not be the case. It might well be that this death, this lack of a life, this no life, is what gets in the way of him moving forwards to what he does want. What the group therapy was doing, of course, was focusing all of his attention on that portion of the story. What was being missed from the story was all of the stuff that's left for him. What was being missed from the story was everything that's right for him. What was being missed from the story was where he stands, what he stands for, what he stands on. His position in the world, his place in life was being missed. All the attention was being put on the corpse in the coffin. And also what was being completely missed was everything that's in the background. Everything that is left behind for him, all of those things that are right behind him. The way forward that's left for him and the way forward that's right. This was just one very small portion of the experience that for 11 months, for 5 sessions a week in groups, he was being encouraged to explore. Now in metaphor, as I say, we are never dissociated. So when people say, I see myself, it's not themselves that they see. What's happening is they are seeing the story they have learned to tell about themselves. So if I see myself, that's not myself. That might be the self I've been told that I have. It might come through repeatedly other people getting me wrong and telling me the kind of person that I am. It might well be, it's just been said once. It might never have been said. It's my assumption on how other people perceive me. But that's not myself. But by adopting a position that I have a relationship with this dysfunctional, problematic self, I'm no longer free to live my life. So just supposing this dissociated self, for want of a better term, isn't me, it's how my parents see me, or it's how my wife sees me, or my husband sees me, or my grandparents sees me. And I know that the way they see me doesn't really match how I want them to see me. What's happening here is I'm learning to see myself this way as well, and therefore I'm now engaging in a relationship with a falsehood. Actually, what I can do is I can turn myself around and maybe look forward in a different direction. Maybe I can take steps to move away from this false identity and go somewhere else. Maybe I can do something different. Essentially, what I need to do is to change my position in relationship to the story of myself that is false. Until I change my position, this will be a major preoccupation in how I live. So, dissociated identity never happens in metaphor. We are always the observer. We are never what we observe.